Hey guys, Professor Bill at Comic Book University, and Mystery in Madripoor, Hunt for Wolverine, issue number 4 of 4. This is the last one of those 16 issues. 16 issues. And the next issue is in fact going to be Wolverine, Dead Ends. So, but it did the dang. That's right, literally on sale next week. So just 1 week away to figure out where all this information goes. So all the teams have been kind of put together and whatnot. Oh, sorry, I should actually be mentioning who did this book because what kind of jerk wouldn't? Writer Jim Zub, artist Tony Silas with Leonard Kirk. So that's cool. Leonard Kirk just kind of jumped on this. He's the guy I was talking about. I went to the one Comic-Con and I saw him and he drew the Black Panther for me. He was doing the art for the recent Black Panther book. Anyway, go and check out those older videos for Black Panther, the previous series. Color artists, Felipe Sobriero with Andrew Crossley. Letterer, VC's Joe Sabino. Cover artist, Giuseppe Camacoli, Roberto Paggi, and Maury Hollowell. And variant cover artists, Chris Bacalo, Terry Dodson, and Rachel Dodson. Okay, well, the Dodsons have been doing a couple of covers this week, huh? Anyway, so yeah, dude, Psylocke is jacked. Like, she just got jacked up like you wouldn't believe, and Sapphire Sticks is just sucking every bit of her soul out of her. And this is some beautiful art, man. This is just unbelievably gorgeous. Like, when you're looking at Psylocke with, you know, pure white hair, you know, her soul, her, not even just her astral form, but her full-on soul, which is about the same thing. Just the bottom of this barrel that with bones all over the place, and she's naked, and you see like things falling off of her. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if it's dust or just the ooze of what's remaining of her soul. Whatever it is, like, she's jacked up, and this art really, really portrays it. I mean, this is some serious depictions. So you guys know that I think everybody for the most part knows that in X Disassembled, which is promising to be an amazing series by Ed Brisson. Excuse me, yeah, is it Ed Brisson? I think it's Ed Brisson, yeah. Who, everybody's looking at the front cover of that, and they're looking bottom right-hand corner like, whoa, 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 is that Betsy Braddock? Is that actually, what's her name, Psylocke? And yes, it is, but it's her original English body before she went through the Siege Perilous way back in the Fall of the Mutants storyline. We're talking about in the late 80s. That was like, what, 88, 89? So that was when she became this version of Psylocke, the ultimate, excellent, perfect version of Psylocke, where she took over the body of the Japanese hand agent, Kayana? Actually, I think it even says it in here, but whatever. It's something to that effect. And when she... This is wild, man. This is the issue where they show her going back to her original English form, the Tea and Crumpets form, which she's actually called Tea and Crumpets in this, by one of the bad guys, one of the bad gals. So that kind of makes this a really important issue, doesn't it? It makes it another important issue because they mention the connection that these people were connected to Soitera, or however you pronounce their name, which is what we'd seen over in the Hunt for Wolverine, the Adamantium Agenda. So all of this, we're starting to see the interconnectability here. So I don't know what they're going to do with Lost Souls. That's the final book in the series. Dead Ends, excuse me. Lost Souls was the beginning of this series. Wolverine Dead Ends. They're going to have that one issue there, and then, what, 5, 6, 10, whatever. I think 5 issues of the Return of Wolverine, the same team that did the Death of Wolverine. And then we're going to get a regular Wolverine series again. So, yeah, all that starts next week. Anyway, I think all of us, for the most part, expected that this was going to be the best of the endings for all the stories, just because of everything that was set up. And also, like I'd mentioned several times, Jim Zub seems, from my understanding from, very few conversations with him, that he really cares about not only tying up a story, but making sure that even loose ends sort of stories like this, side issues that aren't the most important thing, tie-ins, all right? Because this is basically just, in a sense, a tie-in. you know? That even the tie-ins make sense. That even the tie-ins feel important. Well, as if he didn't do that enough by bringing Betsy Braddock back, you know what I'm saying, to her original English form. That means she loses the ninja capabilities, apparently. Even if she doesn't, her body isn't going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? I've been studying the martial arts since I was 8 years old, but I haven't been practicing for the past 4 years or so. So I can assure you, although I remember all the moves, my body isn't going to react the same way. I promise you I'm not as dangerous as, I would have been 4 years ago when I was still in practice and whatnot. So yeah, changing your body entirely, that's going to be something, In this body, she did not have any ninja capabilities. So she reconstructed her body molecule by molecule using nothing but her force of will alone, and her psychic powers, obviously. But she reconstructed her original form, and there's commentation all through it. Commentation's not a true word, but you know what? English language, most malleable language in the entire world. So she ruminated about how everybody had been using her, changing, using her soul, using her will, using her in and of herself for their own purposes, manipulating her, causing her to have to change herself, to adapt herself, to evolve, to survive. And she's sick of that. She's sick of that. If you're curious, is she still as powerful as she was before? Zub makes sure that she mentions internally, all right, when she's facing down Magneto, when it looks like Magneto's about to kill somebody, she says to herself, I know that I could turn him off like a light switch. I may need to kill him again, but I need to see if he's returned back to his roots. Because if not, then she won't. But that's awesome that it was remembered. I don't remember which issue, but I remember it was the last issue of one of those. I think it was the last issue of Uncanny X-Men, where right before the new X-Men series started, X-Men Prime started, and then we had X-Men Gold, Blue, and all the others that came afterwards. So that was the issue where she actually, and I've got the issue up. You can review it. Go and look at, if you're curious about that issue, if you don't remember, go and look at my video for X-Men Prime, and then scroll down through the not the comments, but the description. In the description box, I've got links to all the comic books that I've reviewed before that particular issue. So all those issues link to that, and then all these other issues link from that. So go and look at the description in X-Men Prime issue 1. It was a one-shot. Anyway, so all of this is mentioned. All of this is brought up. So this is cool. So apparently Betsy is going to be focusing a lot more on her psychic abilities as opposed to, the whole psychic dagger, psychic katana, psychic lance. That's what was next. All right, psychic battering ram. Who knows? She was getting a little bit too powerful. Seriously, she was getting a little bit too powerful. Madly in love with this character. Still my favorite, probably always going to be my favorite version of Psylocke. Absolutely love this version. But this is going to be interesting, seeing her like this again. And this is the issue where it happens. But one more thing happens. They actually found Wolverine. Yeah, I know, you might be sitting there thinking to yourself, whoa, hold on, Professor Bill. You told me, yes, I told you what Marvel told all of us, okay? It wasn't a huge press release, but it was announced that all of these guys are going to fail. All of these issues are going to show that all of these teams have failed to find Wolverine, but all of the loose ends will be brought together in Dead Ends. All right, that's the reason why it's called Dead Ends, because all four groups, so therefore all four issues, came to a dead end. Well, Wolverine was found. Now, is it quite the same? No. The hint I'm going to give you is, think about Gamora and the Soul Stone, okay? It's still Wolverine. It's still genuinely Wolverine. And a very cool conversation happens between these two. And literally, I got just a little tiny bit choked up. Amazing writing. Look, I'm going to say something right here. Right now, Jim Zub loves what he does. Clearly, it's evident. I don't have to ask him to know that. I'm hoping that if he ever loses, and this goes with everybody else who writes and draws, and this I can't help but to think of John Romita Jr. in this particular regard. And I'm not going to say anything about John Romita Jr. he hasn't said about himself. He doesn't care about making beautiful art anymore, because unfortunately, and I made this conversation. If you go and check out the Magic Order issue number 3 that I just put up on Sunday. No, on Monday. On Monday. That video went up on Monday. I had a quick conversation about economics and art and how it sucks to live in America or Canada, just in a capitalistic society where you're an artist, because you have to do the things that you need to do to eat. And then if you can sustain yourself that way, then you can do the things that you actually want to do for art. So you can never just do the things you want to do and never make your true, you know, your true statue of David, unless you're actually doing your commissioned work, which is the Sistine Chapel. Obviously, I'm talking about the artist Michelangelo, not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but close. So, John Romita Jr., it sucks, but I understand it. He doesn't draw nice anymore. He doesn't draw great anymore like we know that he used to. He clearly did. And like we know that I'm sure he still can. He doesn't do anymore because by his own admission, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't get paid for drawing nice. I don't get paid for quality. I get paid for quantity. So he rushes his art along so that he can get more issues out so that he can get paid. It's a capitalistic society, man. It literally, that is the very definition of well, not quite, but it's almost the definition of dog eat dog world. You have to make sacrifices in order to put food on your table. That sucks. So what I'm hoping is that if people like Jim Zub, and this counts for Ed Brisson, Donnie Cates, this goes back to Jim Starlin, man. This goes back to anybody. I hope that if they ever lose their true love for writing or art or anything, that they just kind of bow out gracefully. You know what I'm saying? Because like books like this was so well done. Like the whole series was done well, but I always say the issue number 1 captivates you. The final issue though, that has to really drive it home. And that's what happened here. This was a fantastic issue. So therefore a fantastic 4-issue mini arc. This was amazing. So much happened in here. Like I said, the conversation between her and Wolverine, although short, memorable, so memorable. And she saved a life. And she showed gratitude. Damn, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Don't be silly. Go out and get this book. Physical copy, get the book, because you know that you're going to want it. You probably want to get it signed by everybody involved in this book. And you're definitely going to want to have the first reappearance of the original Betsy Braddock. I'm not giving up my original. It's still my favorite looking one. All right, guys, that's it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.